Something I always wanted to ask you, just where did the name Wild Bill come from? Because I've watched you much of your career. I was a big world class fan, and I always wondered where Wild Bill came from.
Came from Bronco Lubitsch.
Really, Bronco came up with that.
Bronco Lubitsch, yeah. Because when I first went into Texas back in 1980, I don't know, first match, second match, I don't know, just one of the matches, and it was in the Sportatorium, and with Gary Hart, they were probably they were just, my name was Bill Irwin, kind of plain, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And they were just standing trying to think of a name, and Bronco said, well, what about Wild? Wild Bill. God, he's like crazy in there, He just goes like crazy, so Wild Bill it was.
Wow. Bronco Lubitsch. That's unreal. That's
Yeah, Bronco Lubitsch, and then, with the Wild Bill thing, that was easy for me because it just, kind of, I just went off into the cowboy thing, and my mother was from California and lived on a ranch, and I had an Uncle Bill who was kind of a cowboy, so yeah, it just was easy.
when
What?
you first came to Dallas to work for Fritz Von Erich. What was your first impression of Fritz when, like, you first met him?
Well, I don't know. I guess he was all right. I mean, quite frankly, Fritz was an older man when I first met him.
Okay.
He only had one or two matches, I think, after. I think I remember him having a match against King Kong Bundy and one against Brody, maybe, if I'm remembering right, and that was it.
Right, because
He
you
had
you were on the that '82 Fritz Von Erich retirement show card at the Texas Stadium, right?
yeah, yeah, and I think he worked against Bundy there.
Right.
And I don't know, maybe I just remember him and Brody arguing about something, but yeah, he did not wrestle, and so he was at the end of his time, and I was a young kid coming in, but I was a little bit older than his kids, younger than oh God, I was pretty much the same, a little bit older than David.
Okay.
So David and I got along good, and I got along with all of his sons. So he was relatively always nice to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I told this story before. What did he do? He paid for a root canal or no? A cavity. That's what it was. I went in there one day. It was way back when, and I went in, and Mrs. White was his secretary, or a guardian of the gate, as I used to call her, because when you went there, you'd go there to pick up your checks. If they weren't ready, you couldn't get in, and you could never just get in to see Fritz. She was there. She had to go in and tell him if someone's here or anything like that. And she was the lady that passed out the checks. And I was checking with her on when your check was going to be ready. And she goes, well, what's the problem? I says, well, I got to go to the dentist. I need to check. And Fritz, I don't know if he heard it from the other room or quite what it was, but he says, what's the matter? He says, oh, I says, I've got a cavity or something I got to go get handled today. And he goes, well, how much is it? And I says, well, it was like $150. He wrote me a check right there for an additional $150 to take care of the tooth.
That was nice of him.
So he was always nice to me. I mean, I don't know, so I can never say that he was anything but nice to me. And I don't know that he ever was really not a good promoter. I mean, there's owners and promoters across the country, and some are notoriously butt heads, and, other ones are flat out assholes. So, but he wouldn't fall into that category as far as I'm concerned anyway.
Right.